Elena Cardone.
Woo!
Hi.
I'm excited. What an amazing group of people you put together.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, the First Lady of the 10X Empire. It's actually, like, I've been saying it throughout my event, it's been a dream of mine, came to America, then ended up working in, in Grant's office, right? And then meeting, by the way, you were always amazing to me. And then, years later, we're back here together doing this thing with a little confession I'm going to make at the end of this, thing we got on stage. So let's get going with the question. All right. What? Did I mess up?
No. I'm enjoying this.
All right. So, Elena, I have to start with the book you wrote, right? Usually people would start, how did you grow up and all of that, but I want to dig deep. I want to get to the book because it was impeccable, right?
Thank you.
It's about building an empire, and let's start with what inspired you to write that book?
Graham.
Because you don't need to sell books for money, right?
No, but I compete at everything in our office, just so you know. So, but the book actually was inspired by Grant because he said, I have information that could help people. And so I didn't even really know about that until he asked me to speak at the first 10X Growth Con. And I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? Because I never really thought of myself as the entrepreneur per se. That's him. He built everything. He's the hammer. But I'm more sort of the architect, visionary, mindset support chick, behind the scenes infrastructure.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I was really stressed out, but I was really glad that he included me in the mix, but I didn't know what I was going to talk about. And then I thought, well, I just need to talk about what I know. And what I know is my world. That's it. So the very first Growth Con, I talked about what it takes to build an empire, how to get on the same page with your partner or whomever. I mean, no one's built an empire alone. It's impossible. It's never been done before in the history of the planet. Like, it takes a team. It takes an army. So, and of course, that starts in the bedroom, right? And going out forward.
Yeah.
So I talked about just the power of the collaboration and working in a coordinated effort to reach a heightened level of success, which is what we did, and the purpose and how we got there. And after that first Growth Con, I realized I thought everyone did what we did. But then I realized no one is doing what we are doing. And then that's when I realized, wow, I have something here. I can help people. Because before, I'm Grant's biggest fan. If you read my book, I write a chapter in there, be your partner's biggest fan. And I am legitimately his biggest fan. And I know that his products and services help people, and they make a difference for the better. So originally, I had this purpose. Of course, I still do, but the purpose is to help people reach financial freedom and financial literacy. And I know Grant's products help people to do that. So when I do what I do for him and for the organization, sometimes I don't want to do it for him. Because sometimes after an almost 18-year marriage, I don't like him. But I like you. And when I do what I do and execute in my role in the relationship, and he can show up and deliver and give the content to people that can then go out and change their lives and their families' lives and their communities' lives. I helped you when I helped him so that he could do what he does. So that's what I did for so long. And of course, I still have that ball juggling. But anyway, back to the book. Grant said, you have knowledge to help people. So I started to write the book, and then I was confronted with, I'm a visionary, I'm an artist, I started as an actress, I hate school, so I had all these excuses. I'm hyperactive, thank God, I'm old enough to where I missed that diagnosis, like ADD and all this. I'm like, ADD? No, I have ADD for you. You are not interesting enough to hold my attention. Believe me, I have like 100 other windows open that I am very focused on. But anyway, they didn't drug me, thank God.
Is that what happened when you met Grant?
Grant is...
Because there's a story there.
There's a lot of stories there. But, so I had excuses about writing this book. And I said, 7 months had gone by, and it's very frustrating to be with a guy like Elena Cardone because he can write a book in a weekend. And I don't think of myself as one of those smart people, although I'm very smart. But I'm not one of those smart people, you know, like the book smart people. I make up my own words, I'm just... Yeah. Anyway, 7 months go by, and he said, how's the book coming along? And I'm like, oh, I can't sit still. I'm hyper, and I hate school, and I didn't go to college, and I can't write, and da-da-da. And he told me, he said, you know what you are? And I said, what? And he said, you're lazy and a coward. And I was like, I was like, I support him. I'm like in my head, right? And I'm like, I support him. I do everything for him. Why? How could he treat me like this? If I told this to any one of my girlfriends, they would say, don't take this. You got to leave him, and da-da, which is why I never talk to my girlfriends about anything. But he was right, because it lit a fire under my butt. And for the next month, I wrote the book. I finished the book. And then I threw it in his hands when I was done. And I said, how's that for a lazy and a coward? And then he said, congratulations. I have a point to this story. I'm going to get there. I know the guys are probably having trouble because I'm long-winded, but I know all my girls are tracking with me.
Give her a clap, lady.
So he said, I just want you to know I didn't think for 1 second that you were ever lazy or a coward. And that's a moment I had of a profound epiphany for me. Because a lot of times people look and think that they want to be in the perfect relationship, or they ask, how do y'all have it all, and how do you do it? And so from the outside, it can look like we have this perfect marriage, but they don't understand. For a month, like I loathed the man, but I realized, I can't compare myself and my relationship and our love to anyone else and what it's supposed to look like, because ours is supposed to look like what it's supposed to look like. See, for me, I think love, the greatest act of love that you can give somebody is helping them fulfill their dreams and their goals. And when he told me that I was lazy and a coward, as much as it hurt and I hated it, in that particular instance, that's what I needed to hear to get me to achieve my goals and my dreams. And thank you. Someone was clapping. And that's what love is. So, go ahead.
Again, guys, I don't go by the questions on here. I ask questions based on what I'm really also interested in knowing, too. So I've personally heard Grant say many times, without you, he wouldn't think bigger or get creative enough, or you expand his vision. And he gives an example of like the private jet. So that was a thing he never wanted to get until you opened, his mind and vision to it.
Right.
What does that really look like in real life? Like, what is it? Like, how could a lady inspire her man to do that, for example? Tell us more about that.
Again, I wrote this in the book, but and hopefully, ladies, you don't make the same mistake that I made, but it goes along the lines of the plane. But before the plane, it was one time I told him, you need to become a billionaire. And I said it kind of like that. I was like, you need to become a billionaire. And it sent him through the roof. I mean, he was furious. When is enough for you? And you're not the hammer, and you don't know what it takes to go, oh, it's easy for you to have all these visions, and da-da-da-da-da-da. But I'm the one that has to push and shove and grind, and what do you do? What do? You do nothing. And so I was like, wow, I'm feisty and fiery, and I wanted to hit back, and believe me, I've already had the tape recorder rolling, like I store up like zingers and bows and arrows and bullets. I use them. Yeah. And when I get really mad, they could come firing out. But I knew in that moment, that wasn't what was gonna take me to get there. What I wanted is for him to understand that. So after he cooled down a little bit, I tried to explain to him, no, you don't understand. It's me, okay? Elena. Like, you see me in a nice dress right now, but believe me, it's very uncomfortable for me. Like, I prefer to be in, like, sweats. I shoot guns. I compete at guns. I'm ridiculous. I attempt MMA stuff every day. It's me. I told him, I said, I love my Chanel. By the way, how nice is this? But I don't need Chanel to make me who I am. Like, I'm me. I'm Elena.
Give her a clap,
From the
ladies.
streets of New Orleans. I mean, come on. Like, the point is, you need to be a billionaire because that's how much I believe in you, and that is how big you're supposed to be. I see you. I see your potential. I see your greatness. And $1 billion isn't $1 billion that I need money. Like, for what? What am I going to go do? Buy more guns? You know, like, I have all the guns that I want, and they're really nice. There's actually a couple more I could think of that I want. But anyway, I said, look, the billionaire thing, it's just a target in the physical universe to know that you hit something, like a Super Bowl ring of life. Like, you have to have a target, right? So the billion is, if you hit $1 billion, look at Walmart or whoever else you see on the Forbes list, you know their products because they've exchanged enough products and services with enough people to end up on that Forbes list. So if you end up as a billionaire, then you will have had to exchange your products and services with enough people. And if you do that, you really make an impact and a difference on the planet. And I'm here to help you with that. So ladies, if you decide to do that for your man, which I suggest you do, and men, if you decide to do that for your ladies, which I suggest you do, that comes with a sacrifice, and it comes with a price. That, if you are going to require that of your partner, you then don't get to have the luxury of saying, when are you going to come home and spend time with me? When are you going to hold my hand? When are you going to... Because $1 billion is hard to achieve. It takes work, okay? For him to exchange and earn $1 billion, which, by the way, we just made that target a couple months ago.
Give him a clap, folks.
And it does feel good. But it does come with sacrifice, and it does come with, you know, if you want to exchange, I don't have the luxury of saying, Grant, let's just have date night we don't have date night. There is no such thing as a date night where Grant and I hang out alone. Like, I can't even think of the last time. If Grant and I go out to dinner, we're going out with people that we could maybe do business and collaborate with. Otherwise, I got to add another 20 years to the goal. It took 10 to 12 years to hit it. And hopefully we're here to help fast track you guys. We had to figure this out the long way. Anyway, back to the billion. Like, for instance, the other reason I suggested that he become a billionaire is because I understand that when you're with a person that has such a ferociousness, I don't know how to articulate it, but such a huge beingness, like such a huge bigness. If they're not going after goals that are big enough, then guess what? You become the target. And in that sense, I was greedy because I'm like, I am not the target. I am not your enemy. I am on the same page as you. That's your goal. It's $1 billion. It's making an impact. It's helping billions of people change their lives. Let's go change the world. Let's go get 7 billion people to know your name. And so, yes, and at the time, he was like, that's never going to happen. $1 billion? I mean, Elena, $1 billion? Really? $1 billion? I was like, yeah. And now the man is like, $1 billion. The next target's 10. And he thinks he can do it. Wow. And he can, and he will. And because he can and will, he should and he must.
Give him a clap. One of my favorite scenes of you and Graham, two scenes. One time with the first jet, the smaller one, the G280.
The G200. 200.
You guys were at this airport, and Graham was walking around, and he's saying, look at all these fucking planes. I got this little itty-bitty plane. And then when you walked up to him, like, you know, no, baby, this is ours. It takes us everywhere, and we have love, and, you know, that one support. And then the second one, when the G550 showed up, that video, when you both teared up, when it was pulling up, and the way you were around them, it was easy to see in your eyes that you saw the struggle, the push, and the shove, and the way you guys got there, it's incredible. My favorite two scenes that I saw, you know, for you guys as a family. So I'm gonna take this to, and again, guys, I'm gonna be super honest, right? I've dated, I've been out there, right? Met some women, and then let me say this. Let me say this. So a few times in the relationship, I've said, like, I've used you and Grant as an example because you guys are a great example, not just in business, also for married couples. And I said, look at them. They're not out there getting drunk and partying on the weekend. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. We could learn from that. Then the woman or women answered, well, you don't know what they do off camera. They could be out there getting drunk. You don't know. So share with me a little bit more about the sacrifices that you guys made as a family, as a couple, husband and wife, to get to where you guys stand today. Because I guarantee you, I'm not going to say all, but majority of women or men in this room don't understand the type of sacrifice that you guys took to get to where you stand today when Grant was nobody to get to where he stands today. Share that with me, please. Well, and I hope all my exes in the room.
Well, thank you for acknowledging that moment. Absolutely. For the G500. That was another real quick. He thought the G200 was fine and perfect, and it was. It was great. When I wanted to go into a bigger plane that could take us around the world, he was like, that's ridiculous. How can you do this to me? And I said, no. We were in Los Angeles, and there was a G550 that, I got Ryan, the pilot. He's now our vice president at Cardone Capital. But I said, talk to your pilot friends and see if they can show us that G550. Just get us over. Wow. Just get them to show us the plane. Trust me. So I'm like, Grant, I just want to see the plane. It's just for fun. Let's just go look at it. So we're there. They open up the plane, and he's looking around the plane. And I mean, it's impeccable. It's beautiful. It has a bed. It's got this shower. It's so amazing. And he's the whole time complaining, this is horrible. This is ridiculous. This is what? Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, 7 months later, we had our own, So he bought it.
Unbelievable.
And then when it arrived, and I love that.
You can clap.
Thank you. It's important to celebrate the successes of others, because when you can see it in others, it means you can see what you can have and for yourself. So I do it. I like that acknowledgement. Thank you. Not because I need it, but because for you. But when that plane arrived, there, I could literally choke up about it, but I'm not going to let myself. Yeah, because it's a Super Bowl ring. It's something that you need in the physical universe to remind you as a symbol and a trophy. And yes, it gets us around the world and gets us known so we can actually meet the 7 billion people on the planet. But every time I see the plane, I not only see all the things that we did right, that you can obviously see that we did right with all the stats and everything, but I also see all the things that we did right by eliminating them. And by not chasing the dangling carrot and having the courage to pass on something because you just knew. So now you're getting back to the sacrifices and whatnot and the drinking. I'm from New Orleans. I'm pretty sure not now, but maybe 10 years ago.
Not just drinking, Elena. It's the partying. It's the lifestyle in Miami.
But I'm going to tell you. I'm not trying to be Mother Teresa. But I haven't done a drug since... I gave birth to 2 children naturally in my home. I haven't done a drug since December 31st, 1999. And I don't drink. Thank you. That was good. It's my badge of honor there. But no, I personally don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I don't drink alcohol, and it is a sacrifice.
Listen up, Miami ladies.
What's that?
I want them to hear that better.
Well, what?
The why don't you drink?
I don't drink alcohol because in our relationship, we have roles designated based on our strengths and weaknesses. Not on male, female, but strengths and weaknesses. It does so happen in our relationship. It is a little more traditional because I happen to be really good with the family and the behind the scenes operations and making things run. And typically or traditionally, a woman does that household role, and I do that role. So like anyone that wants to get around Grant or get in the orbit or anytime we do socialize, what you don't know is that it's just not going to happen unless I approve it. But he doesn't know that. He doesn't need to really know that. It's just the way that it is, because in the Empire, I have all the people in place that, of course, I've put there, right? And so all the people that I have very good relationships with, where it's either Ryan or Jared or Sherry or this person or that person. And so, but the reason is, it's not because, like, I'm not a jealous person. Like, that's a whole other conversation. Even though you have no idea. I mean, they send nude pictures. I've had crazy ladies like, we need to share him. He needs to be both our husbands. I mean, we're not going there. I mean, that's just a whole other category. But it's not because I'm a jealous person. I need to filter. Like, Grant is my triple crown. He's special. He's a star. He needs to focus on the 200, 300, now $1 billion deals that we're working on. He needs to be in a distraction-free environment that's going to keep him extremely ethical, on point, not make a mistake with a deal. We have staff, we have investors, we have a lot, of course, his family, but we have people that depend on us to flourish and prosper, not make mistakes. So I need to protect him in that environment, and I can't have him making a mistake. So he does drink from time to time, but I know that the people that we're around would never let him do anything stupid. Not that he ever would, but come on, you've been married 18 years. There could be a time when we're in a fight and he gets drunk and some hot girl's like throwing her beautiful body and her nice tight butt in his face. And there could be an accident. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not stupid, right? And I wouldn't even blame him really, except for I can't have that because that's not how we run our empire. We're ethical. We're like a model couple. That's who we wanted to be. That's our purpose. I'm trying to restore the family value to society. I'm trying to restore relationships, So we can't lower the bar, and I can't have anyone around him that lowers the bar because then they can't hold him accountable if they're doing something unethical themselves. Do you understand? So I have to run this tight ship of this empire. And the reason I don't drink is because my strength is I'm super protective, and I think in a very different way than Grant. Most people would probably think that Grant is the one where, first strike, you're out. They would think he was really hardcore, but he's not. He's like a little teddy bear, and he loves everybody, and he wants to give second and third and fourth chances, and I'm like, nope. Like, people just disappear, boom. Whatever happened to so-and-so? I don't know. Where are they? I have no idea. It could be anyone. I don't care. I'm going to make. Yeah. So I don't drink because I can't for 1 second drop my perceptions, my observation. I can't slip up. I can't also. I'm human too. I can see when there's a freaking hot guy in a bar and I'm like, oh my God, I'm 20 again. He thinks I'm hot. This is cool. I'm a little boy crazy, and I can't do that. That wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be ethical. It would be very disrespectful to my husband. So I have to keep it straight.
Honestly, guys, I've said this and I've said it to around a lot of people before. You are the perfect example of what a wife should be. And that's in my opinion. So I'm being extremely honest. The way you talk about Grant and all of that, and that's why I always use you guys as an example, and you more than G. Well, I love Grant, right? I actually learned a lot more also from the E and G show. I love those a lot, right? Question, what would you tell, throughout me dating, right? So hold on. It's turning into a therapy session, right? So I'm getting along with a woman and whatever. Hey, we need to stop doing these things. We're going somewhere in life, blah, blah, blah. No, I can't stop drinking. I can't stop doing Miami stuff because you're changing who I am. I'm offended. This is not what, you see where I'm going with that. And I've seen you talk about this once before, but I just want to dig a little deeper there.
Well, you got to get the agreement, where are we going and who do we want to be? Who are we representing as a couple? You know, like, are we the party couple? Is like, what is the purpose? We have a purpose for every single thing that we do. What is the purpose when you go out? Like, what are you doing? Are you collaborating? What are you doing when you're drinking?
Yeah.
You know, like understand it. What is the valuable final product that comes out of that? I can't find something good that comes out of it for me. And I'm trying to reach a heightened level of success. That's the only area that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in a relationship just to have sex, you know. I'm interested in a relationship to reach a heightened level of success, to see how far can this little girl with no college education from New Orleans go. What impact can I make? Can I change lives? Can I, like, I'm for something so much bigger and more purposeful than drinking in a bar, flirting with guys. That's fun, but that's too small. It's too much of a degradation. It's degrading for me. And she just has to see that, and y'all have to talk about it and really get her to understand.
Oh, we did, but then she would drink when I'm not around, or with her friends when I'm not around. Didn't lie about it when I got home.
You see, but there's the problem. An empire, I say, find the one you trust. Find the one you trust and build an empire. So empires can't be built on lies and misconceptions and lack of integrity unless you are going to compromise your integrity. Absolutely. I mean, your empire. My empire is built on trust and integrity and grit and honesty and fortitude and accountability. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you have to have your core values and and then you also have to be willing to walk away from the hot piece of ass. You know what I'm saying? Just go find someone who has hot piece of ass and wants to reach a heightened level of success with you.
Absolutely. Love that answer.
Yeah.
So I've been around you and Grant often, and I've been to your house before, and I love this agreement that you guys have. Hey, you're the boss at the office, I'm the boss at home. Right. Where did that agreement come from, and how is it working out? Because when I've been around to your house, you're the queen. You're the queen. Everybody around, running, looking at you. I'm the boss here. I make the decisions.
Yeah, because we delegated for the first 4 or 5 years of our marriage. Otherwise, I truly believe we would already be at 10 billion. But for the first 5 years of our marriage, we were competing and vying over and I'm going to be honest, it was probably mostly me, because I thought I had to be this independent, strong, powerful woman, never depend on a man for anything. You know, I had a lot of issues I had to overcome. So we were building in our own thing and then coming home and kind of destroying it. And then we finally, you know, an incident happened, 2008 happened. Anyway, I finally figured it out, how to work in a coordinated effort together, how to get on the same page. And so that's when I realized, well, I'm the boss of the home, because that's just my strong suit. I know how to make things beautiful, feel good. Like, I'm PR of the family. I'm always like, I want my bull in the china shop to continue to be himself, because that's what got him to where he is. But at the same time, I'm like trying to catch the vase before it lands and crashes, or I'm sweeping up after him. I'm trying to do damage control, you know, so. What was the question?
You answered it. I'll say this. What are some of the things that we don't see on camera, on YouTube or Instagram, that you guys do to make sure you guys are a strong couple, where the marriage gets better because of that one thing you guys do that just never makes it to social media, maybe, if there's any?
You know, what you see is really what you get.
Yeah.
You know, people ask me all the time, isn't it exhausting?
That's who you guys are.
And I'm like, no, you know, I get exhausted when I'm not doing my purpose. I get tired when I have a failed purpose. When I'm winning, when I'm around people, when I'm achieving our goals, like I get more energized and I keep going. Yeah. But what's the thing behind the scenes? I don't know. I mean, it's not behind the scenes, but I have to work on myself always, you know, which is why I do this MMA thing every day. I train for like an hour and a half to 2 hours a day every morning. And it's not natural. Yeah. You know, like I've never thrown a punch in my life before a couple years ago. Yeah. But I do it because it challenges my mind to be uncomfortable, to confront life, to move in a way that is not normal for me. And it helps me every day with life because, like, there's just so much that goes into it. Like, kind of pretending, backing up, defense, getting the person right where you're wanting them and then whacking them with a 4 or like an upper or something or a kick. And I find that a lot of it correlates to life and business. Yeah. And then I always say, I train to kill people so I don't have to kill people.
Yes,
it makes me a nice person.
So she can shoot, she can kick, she can whoop some ass. I see that.
Well, I shoot better than I do MMA.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
okay.
I shoot better than I do MMA.
Back. All right. One of the things I love the most, that you do also as a wife, like how, like us as men, especially if we're top producers and we're out there pushing and killing it out there, how you make such little moments also, or big wins that sometimes as men, sometimes we don't see. You make them a big deal, you celebrate them, you make sure it's not too long, and like you make it like a milestone thing that you celebrate, emphasize on it, and I think that's beautiful. So again, great example. Ladies, learn.
I don't know, but yes, I'm doing enough things right. I'm doing enough things right. Yeah, thank you.
What advice would you give to a man or woman out there trying to find the right perfect partner with them, to be with them on that journey, and live life together? What is that one advice would you give to someone looking?
The one advice is...
Advise me, Elena.
Okay. Well, for you got to write down who you want. Like, make the list, but the list of, like, the perfect woman, your ideal scene. Yeah. Write everything down. But then you have to write the list, if that woman existed, what she would want in a man. And don't write it from your point of view, write it from her point of view. And then you have to look at the list and see how far off you are. And if you want that woman before she's going to show up in your world, because she's not going to show up in your world until she sees that guy. And then what do you have to do to become that person? For instance, if you want a girl that's more serious, then you wouldn't have that she's in bars, or maybe she doesn't drink, or she, you know what I mean? Or maybe you have to get specific on that. Mm-hmm. And same thing, she wouldn't want you out drinking with the guys or dating 100 women or whatever it is, and then look at it, like what's going to come first? Like, do you give up the women and then you think she's going to show up, or do you give up the women and then she shows up? Wow. Do you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, you have to get good enough for her. Mm-hmm. That's what I did, and when I found Grant, like, I did that list.
Though he had to call like for 13 months, I think it was like a year and a half. What?
It was like a year and a month. Yeah.
Is that story real? How real is that story? That he actually called you for over a year to get to you?
2 months. It was answering machine days. He'd leave a message on my answer machine. 2 messages a month for 13 months with no return phone call.
Did you have a list of the men that you wanted and you didn't see it in him at the time?
No. Back then I was... Wait, did I have the list then? Yeah, I had done the list. This is weird. I had done... Okay.
But he didn't match.
So I never wanted to be married or have kids, okay?
What?
For real. Like, I think in the next life, I'm picking to be a dude. And I told Grant, I was like, Grant, you better enjoy this while you can, because I'm not doing this again. This is hard work, dude. You have no idea how hard it is to be a woman. Like, it sucks.
2 natural births.
Well, that was easy compared to everything else. I mean, it's hard work. But anyway, I thought I was going to be this actress. Like,
you were on 2.5 Men show with Charlie?
Yeah, I did a guest spot on that.
That is awesome.
So anyway, I only did the damn list because I went to this girl thing, which I always used to think was really hokey. Hanging out with girls was hokey. Yeah. But I did this hokey night where all the girls were like, write a list of everything that you want. And I was like, eye rolling. But I did it, you know? And then I wrote the list, and it was like over 100 things I wrote on the list. Wow. Ethically ambitious, blah, 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 blah. I wrote all these things. And then I said, well, if that guy existed, then I think I could be with one man for the rest of my life. Wow. And then I had the epiphany that night that if I wanted that guy, what would that guy want in a girl? And at that time, I was a party chick. Like, I was drinking. I'm from New Orleans. I was hanging out in LA. I was in the scene. I was like, it's kind of dude-ish. Leave it at that.
What accomplishment are you most proud of in your entire life?
Probably giving birth to 2 children naturally at my home. I mean, that was a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to tackle it. I have to talk about it. So, we see that you've been in real estate lately. How is that going?
I hate being a realtor. Is there any realtors in the room?
How many realtors in the room? Come on. So you've been a realtor. How's that
I
going?
don't like not being a professional, so I'm starting really new. I just got my license 6 months ago. I have no idea what I'm doing in that space.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, like, I'm having challenges.
You've built a huge team.
I've built a team. I have 340 people in my team. I've launched teams in Mexico, India, Canada, all through across the United States.
Wow. Under EXP, right? With
Under
EXP?
EXP, yeah, because EXP is a model and a vehicle. The reason I did EXP, well, I'll make it short. Short story. Glenn Sanford, the founder of EXP, and Elena Cardone were really excited, talking about a deal they were going to do together. I had never heard about EXP. I was overhearing the phone call in a car. I don't hear Grant get excited. You can imagine how many people want to do business with him and how many people we are in business with. But I heard him really excited, almost giddy. Glenn says, well, I don't know how this is going to work because you're not a licensed realtor. And me, being the good wife that I am, I hate myself. Being the good wife that I am, I always say, become an asset. Figure out a way, you can contribute, right? So I raised my hand. Do you want me to take the real estate license? And he's like, you would do that? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take one for the team so you can do the deal. And he's like, okay. So next thing you know, I'm taking the real estate license, and then I find out about EXP. And then I found out that in addition to the normal structure, you get your split and your commission and all that, they have this whole other leverage share portion. So it's sort of like an MLM component without being a multi-level marketing. So I can earn from you, up to 7 layers deep. Well, this excited me because I've always wanted to be the woman behind the thousands, not just the woman behind the man, even though I'm really proud of that woman behind the man title. But I wanted to be the woman behind the thousands. So when I heard about EXP and this vehicle, I'm like, oh my God, my head exploded. I'm like, what? Now I can offer everything, mindset, infrastructure, support, everything that I did for Grant, but for all the hustlers out there that are the hammers that want to build their business and not have to wait for every time they do a job to get commissioned. They can earn this leveraged portion. And then in addition to that, they also have this equity ownership because it's a publicly traded company and you earn all these stocks. So I could really see how families could earn financial freedom and take care of their families. And then that's when I was like, I have to go all in. Now, I can't ask all these people who I'm going to help build a team for to go sell homes if I'm not selling a home. So I capped on my first deal, which is really exciting. And now I'm doing all these other deals. But I pretty much suck at it, but don't tell my clients that. But I have to call every single mentor I know, and I'm starting at the ground level. But hopefully in 2 years from now, I really will be a professional in the industry, and I'll be able to say, this is how I did it, these are the steps that I took, and fast track your way to success. So I have that going for me.
Wow, so you know how we talk about you must have that giant goal that pulls you into that future. So what does it really look like in 2 years for Elena Cardone, EXP, and the end vision? Where are we going? What's next?
Well, in 2 years, if I break 25,000, that was a huge target. I think realistically, in 2 years, I can probably be around 12,000. But, I'm never going to lower my targets. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just going around the world, building these teams, offering infrastructure. I'm building out a whole training platform myself right now. And, and I really want to help realtors be able to have a second, a third source of income and be able to have financial freedom.
Why would someone want to be on Elena Cardone's team versus any other team or any other broker out there?
Royalty, baby. Royalty. I mean,
Give her a clap.
no, seriously though, if my name can leverage any benefit to anyone, certainly there's that. But the arsenal of inventory that I have to pull in from, I have support calls every Tuesday night that my team join, and I bring in like the Jareds, the Todds, the Allens, the Dave Robards, the Mike Shills, all the assassins from within the office that deliver this training and whatnot. So, I'm not giving up on this. I don't go away. I might lose a battle, but rarely, if ever, do I lose a war. And this is my game. This is my challenge. This is my thing. I'm not quitting, and I'm here to help people. I want to make a difference and an impact. So I think when people join my team, they understand that all hands are on deck in terms of me being a resource for them.
Yeah. I sat down with her once, and here's my confession. I sat down with her once. We were at one of Grant's boot camps, and I'm an inactive realtor. So I have my license, but I'm inactive. And I can't make sense of being a realtor because I do what I do in the investment world, right? I can't make sense of it. Sat down with her once. She knew I got a license. Obviously, she's a great closer.
He then had a target on his back.
Right? Then she was like, well, look, you could activate your license again, and you don't have to show houses. I'm like, but what for? She was like, well, shit, if people want to be on your team, you could be making money off of what they're doing without you showing properties and doing whatever we do on MLS and all that stuff. Next thing I know, I became a realtor with EXP. Because of Elena Cardone. And that's me, folks. I'm a realtor.
I love it.
For all your rental leads, send them over, guys. I'll be love to showing houses after, right? I'd love to be doing that. So I got on the team with Elena Cardone. I get all the emails, all these coaching calls, accountability calls, all that stuff. And then, dude, I love it. So if there is somebody on the crowd right now wonders, if I want to get on Elena Cardone's team, there's 3 things I'm going to get with her I can't get with anyone else. What would it be?
Definitely a purpose. You're going to get a network of people. I mean, I already have 340 of one of them flew in from Mexico, Alejandro, Vanessa. How many people in EXP on our team are in this room? Yay! Okay, I see. You see a bunch of hands. So you just have a network of people that are willing to help you and push you to the next level. Plus, you have the resources.